Fujifilm X100VI, it's at the door. Let me share with you my impressions about the leaked specs and let's find out if Fujifilm X100VI will deliver better than Fujifilm X100V or better than other alternatives. And at the end I will give you some great Fujifilm best value alternatives for Fujifilm X100V but also for Fujifilm X100VI. So let's talk about this now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu and I'm using X100 series from the moment that it was launched by Fujifilm. My first camera was X100 Fine Pix. I was loving that camera very much and I will address that X100 Fine Pix camera in this video a little later because I don't understand why the hype is not about that camera and not X100V especially. And also there are other X100 iterations that are great and even better if you are asking me compared to X100V or X100VI depending on what you want. And we'll talk about the objective of this small camera if we have a clear objective of why would we want a small Fujifilm camera. So let's talk first about the rumored X100VI specs. I will take this camera for reference. This is X-T5. So you are able to see that X-T5 has a chunky body because it has IBIS. So X100VI, it has IBIS and the rumor is that the X100VI, it will be 1mm thicker. So bigger than X100V, bigger than X100F, bigger than X100T and also much bigger than X100 Fine Pix, the first camera, almost pocketable rangefinder looking camera from Fujifilm, because they need to accommodate the IBIS. Also this means we will have extra weight to the body. Already from my point of view, X100V, it was at the limit regarding size and weight. It was at the limit for a portable, pocketable camera, do it all, APS-C camera. Have that in mind also, APS-C camera. Next, we have the same lens. So on X100V, that I've reviewed it and used it for over 2 years, we had a new lens. A greater lens than X100F at a minimum to focus distance and also a sharper lens. You were able to see that the lens has better resolution at pixel level. But from my long time experience and in using that lens, it's not an extraordinary lens. It's a good lens, it's not a kit lens, but not a lens with micro contrast, not a lens with a 3D pop to it, a lens with resolution, a lens with sharpness, but nothing special to it. Like this Voigtlander 27mm f2, so nothing special regarding that lens. Even the 35mm f2, I'm feeling that it's rendering better than that lens. So you don't have a bite, a special bite to justify the new price, because we'll talk also about the new leaked price. So anyway, that lens on the 26 megapixel sensor, it was okay, but not an outstanding lens. In no way an outstanding lens. But I do hope that this lens, the same lens that it's on X100V, will render better on the 40 megapixel sensor. So the next leaked specs is that X100VI will have a 40 megapixel sensor with IBIS with the same lens. So I do hope that the new 40 megapixel sensor will bring much better image quality from this lens. I'm not sure if this will be the case, but from my experience in using X-T5 with 27mm f2.8, I do feel that even if this lens is not an extraordinary lens, a flat lens, a sharp lens at pixel level, but a flat lens without 3D pop to it, without micro contrast and so on. But X-T5 is bringing the best from this lens. So X-T5 was able, even if lenses aren't resolving the entire 40 megapixel sensor, the tech and the pixels and I don't know, the processor and so on, it's making the lens and the final image look better and cleaner, full frame like. So this is a very good thing for X100VI because probably, yes, the X100VI with the old lens from X100V with the 40 megapixel sensor will bring better image quality, but this is a question that remains to be answered: how much better? And by the way, I have a special newsletter dedicated to the passionate photographers. So if you want to learn more about photography tips, tricks, and all kinds of useful information for free, please subscribe to my newsletter, link in the comments and description. It will justify the price, because now let's talk about the price. The leaked price, it's $100 and $600 for the US market and around 1,800 euros for the Europe market. So a huge bump in the price, if you are asking me, because we have IBIS, we have a 40 megapixel sensor, weather sealed, and so on. This will raise some problems, and I will talk immediately about all these improvements, but what the problems will bring to the camera. Next, we don't have a D-pad, I'm okay with it, and we'll have new Fujifilm simulations, Nostalgic Neck and Reala Ace. So let's talk about these specs and what does this mean in the end result, in the real world photography. So for me, X100 series was a series that the main objective of that series was to have a pocketable camera, a memory machine camera that I was able to pick with me wherever I wanted, indoors, outdoors, and get beautiful image and beautiful JPEGs. This was the main purpose of that camera. Of course, you can do all kinds of stuff with that camera, but this was the main purpose. And also, it's a great camera for street photography and for colored photography. But these new improvements are bringing some problems. So you'll have a heavier camera, a more chunky camera, and if you add the square hood, the package will be very big. I had X100V with the square hood, the package is big, and even without the square hood, the X100V, it is bigger than X-T30 with Voigtlander lenses or with this pancake lens from Fujifilm or with 18mm f2. So a bigger package, that for me it's hard to answer why I would need a camera that it's almost as big probably as X-T5 without the EVF bump and so on. Why I would need such a camera without interchangeable lenses, without a lens that is outstanding, without a full frame lens? Because when we are looking at the price, at this price, we could buy a Leica Q2 on the used market. A camera that regarding image quality will blow away any X106 without questions, from my personal taste. Of course, without Fujifilm film simulations. Yes, those film simulations are very, very interesting, but now we are getting to another problem. We have IBIS. Okay, IBIS means overheating and more battery consuming camera. I don't know how X106 will be able to manage IBIS and how good the IBIS it will be. And again, I don't understand why many users are asking IBIS. We are talking about a 23mm lens, focal lens, so a wide lens on an APS-C body that I didn't have any problems in using it without IBIS. Personally, I don't need IBIS on X100V, on X-T30 and so on, because I'm using wide lenses, and even with a 50mm lens, I'm okay in obtaining sharp images. I really don't understand what is the fuss with the IBIS. And again, the IBIS, it will never be at the level of a Micro Four Thirds camera. Yes, if you had IBIS at the level of a Micro Four Thirds camera, like you will be able to shoot 3 seconds from your hand, then this will be another discussion. But the IBIS on X-T5, it's helping me to get sharp pictures with a wide lens with an exposure time of 1 second, let's say. But with longer lenses, it's hard. It's not at the level of a Micro Four Thirds camera. So I'm not seeing where this IBIS will make a big impact. Yes, on a 40 megapixel sensor, it's helping. It's helping. I'm not saying it's not helping. So this is why you need the IBIS, but this means a thicker camera, an expensive camera, a camera that can overheat, and X100V was already overheating in video, but also in photography if you use the clarity effect, not like X-T4 for example, but it had some heating problems. So my question is, for who is this camera? Because for someone who wants an everyday carry camera, there are other better alternatives out there. My recommended alternatives if you want a Fujifilm-like camera and if you don't want to pay the hype-up price. This is very important. You want a Fujifilm camera for taking memory shots, you want to use and to experience Fujifilm simulations and Fujifilm lenses and all that Fujifilm has to offer. My advice, the best value camera and budget friendly that you can find brand new, I hope in my country I can find this brand new, it is Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II. You have great AF, and also I didn't talk about the AF of X100VI. I don't know how that AF will be, but on X-T30 Mark II, great AF with any Fujifilm lens and with third-party lenses. TT Artisan lenses, Yongnuo lenses, and so on. So great AF with any lens on X-T30 Mark II. Plenty of film simulations, great image quality, and a very light, small, capable body. Very light, very small, smaller than X100V. I've made a video, I will link it at the end of this video, why this is the X100V replacement. And you have the advantage of being able to change lenses. So this is a great everyday portable camera. Another alternative, if you really want X100V, it is X100F. X100F, I was really loving that camera, more than X100V. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but it had something special to it. And the camera that I loved most in all this series, X100, X100F, X100V, was X100 Fine Pix. Why? Because portable as Ricoh GR, you can take that camera and put it in any small pocket. You have a 12 megapixel CMOS extraordinary capable sensor, and you have a touch that no other Fujifilm camera has it. And that touch, it's a film-like curve in the JPEGs and also in the RAW files. They tried, I guess Fujifilm tried at that time to make a camera that will take out pictures like on film, and the tone curve, it's a film-like curve. You get extraordinary bright pictures with the shadows like on film. No other Fujifilm camera has this option. All other Fujifilm camera became more and more contrasty looking, and to get that film-like pictures you must overexpose for the film simulation. But this in the end means lower image quality in the RAW file. So again, it's really up to you. You can get whatever you want with RAW files, with JPEG files, but I was liking more the philosophy from the first X100 Fine Pix camera. So these are my alternatives. Of course, there is also XE4, but there is hype around that XE4 because lots of people don't realize that X-T30 it's a better alternative. Yes, it's not looking like an rangefinder camera, but even if it's looking like an SLR camera, it's feeling in the hand and in real world like a rangefinder camera because the EVF and all the bumps are very, very small and very tied up. You don't feel that big bump of an SLR camera like X-T5. Overall, yes, I will buy X100VI because I have this channel, and what it excites me is the Reala Ace film simulation. I can't believe that I'm thinking to pay this money for a film simulation, but I think it will be a very interesting tool for color work, but it will for sure not be an everyday camera like X100V, X100F, X100 or X-T30. Probably it will be a bigger camera that it will be hard to justify the price if I would not have this YouTube channel. So in conclusion, if you are curious to see about my alternative X-T30 with Voigtlander 27mm f2, and don't be worried, it's a manual focusing lens, please check my next videos where I share with you my impressions about Voigtlander and why I love X-T30 Mark II as an alternative to X100V. And I will also post more reviews about this lens. This lens is crazy good. It's giving you full frame like images, like images on your Fujifilm camera, and you will not be able to get this with X100VI in 1000 years. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.